Well, hello. Welcome. Welcome everyone. Come on down. I should have brought a napkin. I'll just wipe on this rug here. How's everyone doing tonight? Come on down. Welcome to the Spirituality Kinda Sucks hour. Maybe 3 hours, you never know. Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I'm doing great. I'm doing excellent. Real good. Real good. I mean, I got nothing to complain about. Different life dynamics happening, you know. Come on down, guys. Come on down. Welcome to the Spirituality Kinda Sucks hour. Why would I say something like that? Why would anybody hate on spirituality? What's up, Mary? Get down in here, guys. Man, this is good. This is the secret to life right there. What's my favorite color? I don't know. All of them. Sparkles. Glitter. Glitter is my favorite color. All right. Calm it down, everybody. Let's talk about why spirituality kind of sucks. Now, I mean that in the most loving way. I want you to know that. I really want you to know that. Share the live video. Share the live video. Encourage more viewers to share. You guys should share. And also hit the little heart buttons. Tap the screen. Here, you can tap it right here. Do a flip. Oh man, that'd be awesome. I can do flips on trampolines. You appreciate the videos. I'm glad it helps. We're going to talk about why spirituality kind of sucks. And you can prove me wrong if you want, but it just gets so damn confusing, you know? It's like, one group of people is like, you should do it this way. I don't think I'm the guys from Elmo's World. I've heard people say that before, but I've never watched Elmo's World, so Mr. Noodles, I guess. Oh, Shredder is good. Here's why spirituality, this kind of sucks. Like, there's some good stuff in it, I think, maybe. But it's just so confusing, right? Everybody that's in spirituality is like, I'm spiritual, but this is how you have to do it. It's not a religion, but this is how you have to do spirituality. Like, any practice becomes, I'm not the actor from Step Brothers. No. Well, here's the thing. There's so many different kinds of spirituality out there. There's all these different flavors. And there's all these different practices. You know, you got the Christian spirituality. And you got, I don't know, Mormon spirituality. Oh. I've never done the Mormon spirituality, but from what I can tell, it sucks. But it always develops a fucking dogma. Every time. It's like, oh, you can't do that and be spiritual. Or you have to, oh, you grew up Mormon. Does it suck? Like, I've never done it. I tried to get a pair of that holy underwear, but couldn't find it online. Do you guys like my new robe, by the way? I got it today at the Encinitas Street Fair. I was wandering through. And there was this guy. And I looked him in the eye. And he looked me in the eye. And he was wearing a robe just like this. And I was like, I need that. And all he had were robes, just like this. And he said, with his hand out, offered towards me to enter his booth, he said, step into the Robeolution. And I was like, I'm home. If this was spirituality, I would be on it, you know? So I went and bought a robe. California Robe Company. You should look them up. They're fucking awesome. They even have a tie in the downstairs so you can wear it out and about and not have to worry about your naked balls showing if you're just freeing, you know, and you're in the wind. Little tie down there. It's the only robe in the world that has a tie down there to keep your balls from flapping in the wind. You don't tie your balls with it. You just tie it in the lower regions. Okay. Now you say spirituality fits for some, but not for you, right? Well, that's probably your own form of spirituality, right? Because what the fuck's spirituality? We're all spirit. We're literally all made of buzzing atoms, right? Like if you look real close, it's you, the thing that makes you. It's atoms. And what are atoms? But some little protons and neutrons and stuff with some electrons spinning around them. And when you break it down to the lowest level, it's nothingness. It's neither particle nor wave. It's just energy, vibrating atoms that's connected to everything. And you got this electron jump from atom to atom, right? And so, how do you have, thank you for the glasses, kind sir, or lady sir, I can't really tell from here, goggles, wave packets of energy, right? You break it down, right? Thank you for that. You break it down to that level, and it's like, well, you just are spirit. Like, what is spirit but something of the ether? And you're made up of that. I mean, ether's that word was kind of retired when it comes to physics and things like that, but you get the idea. You made up, whoa! You send a galaxy? What am I doing? I'm eating fucking berries. Chill out, you know? So in the core line, zero couth. Yeah, this person asked what I was doing. Absolutely zero couth. I'm in 100% couth mode right now. I actually had a whole bunch of it shipped to me on Amazon. Ordered the large packet of couth. I'm reveling in it right now. God, these beers are good. I gotta slow it down. There's only 4 left. I'm getting too spiritual up in this bitch, you know? So, why is everyone so triggered? I just asked what you doing. I don't know. It's the internet. We gotta get triggered. Oh, this person said nice. I'm triggered. So we're these spiritual beings, right? No, it's tea. It's actually the black currant or something like that. It's pretty good. I am a Taurus moon. Thanks for asking. A dog? I've never got a dog farting hearts. A dog just farted hearts at me. That was incredible. I've never had that happen in my life. Did you guys see that? It was a little corgi came in and farted hearts. We're micros of the macro. Now, here's the problem with that, you know? Thank you for that. Here's the problem with the micros of the macro. Anytime you think you are not the macro, the whole thing, because as a micro of the macro, you are still perceiving the macro, and you are part of it because you are nothing but energy. You are just a consciousness with some sort of form manifest through your consciousness, conscious-ish. So if you consider yourself a micro of the macro, that's literally the original sin, you know? It's your separation. Oh, I know better than this. Your separation from the whole. Which one should I eat? There's 4 different sizes. I'm gonna line them up. You guys vote. Should I eat the smallsy? The little less smallsy? The basically the same. Whoa, those are oh, these are 2 different. Okay. Damn. These are in the same weight class, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm gonna line them up different. Should we go with smallsy? Chunky boy, pointy boy, or bigsy? You want the biggest? Okay. Can I ask you questions? Yeah, that's what we're here for. I was just going to talk about spirituality and whatever. But yeah, ask away. The biggest, we have a vote for the bigsy. Should we go for smallsy? What did I call that one? Chunky boy, pointy boy, or the bigsy? Where's the burger? Where's the burger? I don't have a burger. Chunky? Definitely chunky boy? We got 2 votes for chunky boy. I'm gonna go with chunky boy. This one looks good, like primely ripe. Like if I had let this wait for another 15 minutes, it would be past its prime. But right now, it doesn't actually smell like anything. When you bite into it, it's like baby Jesus all buttered up in your mouth. That was a good choice. I'm extremely sad, and my girlfriend just dumped me. She dumped me. She lives with me now, and I don't know what to do. That's a toughie. I mean, if your girlfriend lives with you but she dumped you, like who's in charge of the place? And what's the lease agreement? Yeah, see, that's just some politics right there. It sounds like something that is going to suck in the moment, honestly. But when you get through it, you're gonna have learned a lot. So I would say, instead of focusing on the bullshit, allow the sadness, be like, this sucks, but I'm just gonna work on me, right? I'm gonna find the best version of myself here. I'm gonna use all of this pain to transmute this into some biggest learning thing, what was my biggest limiting belief? Ooh. Probably surrounding money stuff. My parents were cool about money. They both had kind of poor habits in spending money. And then my ex-wife was really just weird about it. Her parents were really rich. And it's like I could never make enough money to make her happy because that was the only way she knew how to receive love. And nothing against her or anything like that. All the love for her. But that's just all the conditioning she had, she didn't know how to do it any other way. So it was like no matter what I did, it was never good enough. So it really established some kind of poor habits around that because it was it didn't matter what I did to make money. So that was definitely a limiting belief for me. It took me a minute to sort some of that stuff out, As they say, don't let one day make you believe you have a bad life. Yeah, totally. Agree with that. And thank you for your advice. I hope that the advice worked. Yeah. Is love a development or is it instant? Ooh! Now you're speaking my language, the language of love. Sometimes I crack myself up. But for real, I was laughing. Okay. Look, what are you talking about, right? Love? You're talking about love here. Okay. Let's think about it this way. I love my kids. Love them. I love these strawberries and cream. Love them. It's True Whip. You buy that stuff. It's just called True Whip. It's like actual cream. It's not all plastic tasting, and it's so good. Look at it. It's fucking delicious. I love it. I love pizza. I love playing guitar. I love my lovely Sarah. I love this robe. I love it. But they're all kind of different, right? Like, they feel different to me. Inside me, like when I say, you know, I love my kids or I love this robe, like it's kind of a different thing. So what kind of love are you talking about, you know? Are we talking about... I mean, the development of love for this robe was like, I saw it today at the market, Encinitas Street Fair. Some of you have been here for this story already, but I looked the man in the eye, and he had a booth full of these robes, and he looked me in the eye, and I was like, I need one of those. And he's like, step into the robeolution. Speaking of which, honestly, like, I don't work for the company, but I will. The California Robe Company, do you see this thing? They do not endorse me in any way, but I endorse them, right? These motherfuckers, this robe is designed to go walking around town in. It even has a low tie, right? So it doesn't flop open in the wind and show your balls if you're just going naked. So that's how you know it's real. Okay, I usually have a friend over every weekend, and we have fun, and I have fun, but I get lonely. Love in a relationship, okay. Yeah, so go to it's the CA Robe Co. The CA Robe Co., I think, on TikTok. Or just search, like, the California Robe Company, and, oh, man, they're so good. What's up, Monterey? Okay, we're talking about love in a relationship. Is love instant or is it built? There's always, like, that, like, oh, this person's cool or whatever. You know, there's that thing. But here's love. I'm just gonna bypass that whole question and say... What? Who's Nikki Scorpio? I don't know who that is. I love this person. Smashing Pumps. I can barely read it from this far away, but we're gonna be okay. Love is like this, guys. Let me break it down for you. I'm gonna save the little one for the last one because it's the most delicious looking. Love is like this. Love is two things. If we're talking about relationship love, right? First, it's berries and cream. Fuck. Oh. Just. Honestly. I highly recommend this. Really. I'm not even fucking around. Normally I am. This time, I'm really not. Love is two things. This is relationship love. Love is a give. I appreciate you so much that I offer myself to you. I give myself to you in whatever capacity. Or it's a receive. Thank you for the love. I appreciate you and your gift. Because anything else is like some kind of judgment. It's either self-judgment or judgment of other. If you say, oh, I love you and you need this to return something to me, it's saying that it's not love. It's just saying, like, I'm doing something so you will do something in return for me. It's not a give. It's not this, like, unconditional thing. And if you are demanding anything in receipt, you know what I mean? It's like a judgment of the other. You're not good enough just as you are. You need to change. You need to do something different for me to acknowledge you and to say, like, oh, we're cool, you know? Or it's a receipt in gratitude. And if it's not a receipt in gratitude, then you're doing some kind of self-judgment where that person offers you love, but you can't even receive it because you can't love that thing about yourself and you can't be grateful for it. So they offer something and you push it away. Oh, no, I'm not worthy of that. And then it's just like, what? It just breaks the love loop. But if you can give it freely and receive it in gratitude, then it starts this nice little love loop, you know? Call it the love fest. I don't know, anything other than that just seems like you're faking yourself out, you know? You're totally bullshitting. Dip it in the bowl of brown sugar. Oh, somebody knows what's going on here. I don't have any brown sugar, but that sounds delicious. For every woman, there is a dude who is sick of her mouth. That's just, I don't really like that. I don't want to talk about women like that. I think it's kind of demeaning and a really bad way to look at life, you know? Random question. Best investment for your room, like plants, room humidifiers, or whatever? I say flowers. Look at them. Just look at it. That's a good investment right there. Probably live ones. What's up, Bree? Oh, today was beautiful. What did you do today, Bree? Tell me about it. Well, I just eat this berry here. I might go get the rest of these berries. I have like another half a box of them. I really just should have paced myself, but I couldn't stop, you know? When you have a situation like this going on, it's like, it's really something else, you know? Oh, man. What did I do today? Wait, your former sister-in-law told you that? Yeah. I don't know. That's why she's your former sister-in-law. I just think that's pretty self-deprecating then. Oh, what did I do today? What did I do today? Oh, I met a client for coffee, and we got some coffee and some food. And the Encinitas Street Fair was happening down there by Better Buzz. Which is where I acquired this sweet-ass robe. And then I came home. I took a client call and did an emotional alchemy session, which is really good. Good breakthrough. Traced some stuff way down in there, from some relationship stuff, all the way down to some parent wound stuff. I'm done. Spent. Here. That's better. And then I took a 10-minute nap. Recentered myself. Took another client call, which is also good. That was more of a coaching call. We didn't go into much emotional alchemy. And then I talked to Sarah for like an hour and 27 minutes. The lovely Sarah. Oh, lovely Sarah. And then I went to Lazy Acres. I bought some berries. How are you so natural on camera? What's my secret? I just don't give a shit. I don't think about any of it. I just do it, you know? I just be. That's why spirituality sucks. Which is the title of this. Because if you're thinking about it all hard, you can never be. If you're like, oh, I got to do this and that. Got to do this exercise to be. And you'll never arrive at being. And any spiritual teacher, like guru-y types that I've ever listened to or heard, they never tell you to do anything. They're like amidst spirituality, but they're not like, you got to do this and that. They're just like, you just got to be, you know? And I figure you just decide to be and just be in a perfect moment. And anything that pulls you outside of that is just your work to do, you know? So you just got to keep deciding to be. Oh, yeah. And then, you know, just ducking be. Just fucking be, kids. Yep, I can't make that up. If Billy Joel got sick of Christy Brinkley, then it's true. Okay. I don't know. I mean, do we get sick of people, or do we get unable to hold space for another? And is love a decision? Or is it just some Disneyland princess bullshit? You tell me. Wish we could do like polls on here. I don't know how to do that. Maybe we can. But when it comes to the whole beingness of spirituality, chemicals. I am doing some chemicals here. There's some good ones in that tea. There's some black currant. Don't know what else, but it's pretty tasty. Love is our only hope. Well, what do you mean by love? Are we talking about relationship love? You're your only hope. You're the only one there. You're the only one in your head, coming up with all your ideas, all your thought processes that trigger all your emotions. No, not relationship. Globally, yeah. Zach's back. It's definitely his fault. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Well, okay, let's talk about like the energy of love. Like, what is love? What a concept, right? You can't force anybody to love. You can only model it. You have to be it. You have to decide to love yourself and to be that. Because then when it's like in your bits right here, and it feels good for you, and then you naturally just do it for others. Love takes a lot of work that most people aren't willing to work enough on. Yeah? No. It takes a lot of self-work. So yeah, people aren't willing to do that. Love is compassion connecting with consciousness in each experience. Compassion connecting with consciousness. I think it's acceptance. Larger scale, yeah. Yes, I do online sessions all the time. Did 2 today. Zach would like everyone to know that he thinks you are beautiful people. Yeah. I do online sessions. That's what I do for work. I'll even do one in this robe if you want. I do video calls. It's called Emotional Alchemy. We sit down and we get into a feeling session together. We dig down deep in on the feelings that are bothering you, whatever, and we end up finding the root stories for whatever's bothering you. What is your bowl bell? It's just a bowl that bells when you ding it. This is the ringer for the dinger. But yes, if you want to do a session, just hit up my website. It's just danieltyack.com. Type in things for the in that little contact form and say, here's what's going on in my life, and then we'll set up a call. The lovely Sarah she'll contact you and set up a call, and myself or the lovely Sarah will do an emotional alchemy session or a coaching session, or you can get on the group calls if you need. We would do a once a week group call with men's group and a women's group, and teaching people the methods of emotional alchemy, which is just feeling into your old bullshit and unpacking your stories and stuff. It's pretty great. What kind of music do I listen to? Today I was listening to some kind of like modern emo pop punk stuff. Sometimes I listen to just real funky, weird, lo-fi, groovy stuff. Sometimes I'm listening to like metal stations. I got a bunch of different playlists. Definitely feel a lot of heaviness in my heart when thinking about self-love. Well, you gotta get on that. If you cannot love yourself, you're fucked on everything else, you know? Because if somebody gives you love at greater capacity, then yeah, it's the bullet piece. If somebody loves you at the greater capacity than you can love yourself, you're not going to believe it, and you're going to push them away, and they're not going to like it. You got to love yourself first. Yeah, definitely reach out. If any of you guys need some help working through stuff, I love doing the work. I mean, I'm always like fucking around on live because that's my job. But I do love like getting in the deep sessions and roses. Thank you so much. How much suffering did you go through and end up? Oh man, God, it was such a shit show. I have no idea. Everything is like the entirety of everything I thought was real and had worked on for years. Just sweep the leg. The universe was like, and I was like, fuck. I was fucked up. I got over it. Separated from my worst first and counseling sessions together tomorrow. Ooh, from my wife. First counseling session tomorrow. Do you want to get back together? What's the separation looking like? Who separated the what? Let's talk about it. My wife left me and then asked for no contact separation for 6 months and then filed paperwork for divorce 4 months into it. So, I think best thing that ever happened to me. Aside from having the business fail horribly and everything else go down too. But those were fantastic. Good morning. It sucks in the moment, so don't let me she left after an emotional affair. Not totally sure if I'm feeling it honestly. Listen to me. Do what your heart tells you. Not what your head and what your anger, but feel in there and be like, is this really something that serves me? Guys, don't stay in relationships. I don't care what society tells you. Don't stay in relationships that don't serve you. Don't stay in relationships that make you hurt, that make you miserable. Don't do it. You will just completely limit yourself. Okay, here's the thing about relationships. Let's get on this here. We're about to get serious, you guys. Hold on. I hope my balls don't fall out while I'm doing this. Oh. Everything's cool. Shh. Cool it down, guys. We're getting serious. Let's just make sure everything's cool down there. Yep. There we go. Everything's cool. We're good. No ball slips. I mean, a nip slip's cool. Male nip slips are okay. I saw that. I read the rules. But I don't think ball slips are allowed on TikTok. Nobody likes that anyway. So, I mean some people, Sarah, would be into it. SockCon? You guys going to SockCon this year? Son, on these nuts. God, you fucking kids. Took me a minute to figure that one out. Everyone was always like, hey, you're going to SockCon? And I was like, what's SockCon? What's SockCon? What's SockCon? And then someone was finally like whispered in my ear via comments. They were like, these nuts. And I was like, oh, thanks, TikTok, you little bastards. Motherfuckers. Okay, what were we going to talk about? I was real concerned about my balls right there for a second, but somebody remind me what we were going to talk about. Relationships. What about them? They're great. Relationships. Damn, okay, guys, chill out. We got it. Oh, the separation? Here's the thing with relationships. Oh, I remember what it was. I was having this theory, right? Oh. No, it's something like that. Not doing Wonderball. I was having this theory about relationships because I was going through relationships like after my everything blew up, my marriage blew up in business, and I was like, well, I guess I gotta go date. And I hadn't dated for like 20 years, you know? So I was like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing, but I guess I gotta do this. And I found out, I was like, man, when it's good, when things are good, I'd be in a state where I'm like, yeah, things are cool. I'm like doing great. I'm living my life. And then I'd get in some relationship, and it was really great for a second. And then something would go south, you know? And then it fucking sucked. It was like, it wasn't that great. And then I was like, I don't like this. It's not helping me. I was better on my own. And then it just would like crash. Like I would just be sucky. I would not be able to like have as much life output. Nothing was as fun. It just sucked. And then I'd get out of the relationship And then I'd get myself straight again, you know? And I was good. And then I get in a relationship, and then all of a sudden I was like, yeah. And then if it was not, you know, maintaining a yeah, then it was like, like worse. And it was almost like if here's you by yourself, here's like a good relationship, here's a bad one. It's like you just keep, like, you're better off on your own if you can't keep it on the up or on the, at least like a reasonable level, reasonable baseline. And there's this, I was thinking about this on this like metaphysical sense, sort of like, man, there's something about it, like the energy like throws it off, like really like messes with you. And I picked up this book. Don't look at my notes, guys. I don't know where that book is. The Tao of Physics. And I was flipping through it. And I saw this diagram, and I was like, what? And it was exactly what I was thinking about, but it was with photons, right? So if you get some photons are little particles of light, and you shoot them down like the particle accelerator, like the Hadron Collider or something like that, and they go in a big circle at the speed of light, and they measure, you know, what these photons do after a while. You shoot one down by itself, right? You like shoot the photon out of the photon gun. It's a flashlight, real little flashlight. The scientists have a teeny little flashlight, just shoots one photon. Boop, it shoots a photon. I don't actually know how it works. But that photon does its thing, you know, photon thing. And it has a gradual die-off where it transitions into a different form of energy. And then if you shoot two down at the same time, and they're out of phase with each other, which means the frequency, the hertz, like how many oscillations a second, you know? Everyone's always talking about frequencies. I'm going to be a higher frequency. It's like, shut the fuck up. You don't even know what you're talking about. That's the oscillations per second for a given frequency. And that's how many times it goes. It wiggles a second to make it travel magnetically. If you put two on there, like that's like imagine a sine wave. You know, you see on like a heart rate monitor, it goes boop 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 boop. That's more of a triangle wave. A sine wave is like the curvy one. So if it's oscillating at a particular amount per second, thanks for the rose. And then you have another one that's oscillating at a different, like one's going here and the other one's going. It's like a different frequency than each other. They magnetically throw each other off. And then they end up exponentially dying off faster than a single photon. But if you take two photons together and you put them at the same frequency, the same oscillation, where they pass each other in uniform, like they're like the same rate, they magnetically propel each other each time they pass. They're like, and they have greater output. You actually have a greater output of light on the other end from these photons. You know, I was like, that's just like relationships. By yourself, it's all good. If you're out of phase, you talk positive to your water. You're like, oh, I love you, baby. Oh, you're such a dirty little water. Anyone drink your water, guys? It's just like relationships. Like, by yourself, it's good, but if you're out of phase with each other, if it's not aligned, if it's not good, then it's just a fuck show, you know? And not the good kind. So, okay. Ooh, childhood sweetheart, huh? Okay, childhood sweetheart. I dated the gal that I was like into in high school and stuff, and we got married, and it was never really good, and I just stuck with it. Like, well, you know, got this history, and it was never good, and I realized she just wounded the shit out of me, like, the whole time. It made me feel like shit, and I was much better off without, you know? What kind of music have I been listening to? Just a lot of different things. I'd show you my playlist, but they're on my phone, and it's doing live right now, so sorry. Anyway, in relationships, if you cannot keep in the same energy, they can't, like, the same mind, and you could consider energy like mindset. What, you guys are saying things. Hey, good evening to you. Anything, ooh, substance addiction, going through it. Okay, we could talk about that. You said not to be in the ones that make you miserable. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that if they make you miserable. 420, yay or nay? Yay and nay. I think weed can be a very beautiful thing in the right context, and it can be a really kind of damaging thing in other contexts. I had used it when I occasionally will smoke, but I can stay in a much better space without it. And then if I smoke some, then I'll like smoke more, and I'll smoke some more, and then all of a sudden I'm like, ugh, and I'm just like groggy and foggy and feeling like dependent on it, you know? So I just try to be really careful with it. And if I ever smoke, it's always like the bougie stuff. I got it from my friend Kat, who works for Cream of the Crop, which is like a California brand. And if ever I need the marijuana, I text Kat and I say, Kat, brother, yeah. I text her and I say, Kat, I need one marijuana. And she always says, do you want the regular stuff or do you want the good stuff? And I'm like, I want the good stuff. So I buy like whatever smallest quantity is. I consider that one marijuana. I believe it's an eighth. And I carefully grind it. Very carefully. Just a little bit. I smoke it in a smoking device. And it doesn't matter, like that first time I go back to it, how little I ground, right? I can be very careful. I'm like, and it's good. It's like a real clear one. But I'm like writing books. It's like the second coming of Christ. My brain is just going, but at the same time it's completely stopped. It's pretty fun, honestly. But then by the time I make it through that eighth, I'm like, I'm not ever smoking weed again. I'm not in a good space, you know? I live in Encinitas. It's a little beach town in Southern California, right above San Diego. So, I don't know. Marijuana was really helpful for me after my wife left and I was just really in a painful state. I realized that I was so worked up too. Like my business had crashed and wife left. And I was just like, adios, have a good night. Oh, don't be anxious for work. Here, I'll play you a cute little song. I realized that I was just so worked up. I couldn't feel anything, you know? I was just really, really blown. And I was trying to journal, and I was trying to, like, left Joshua Tree for the Kings in the range, close to Las Vegas. All right. I was trying to journal, and I was trying to figure out what was up with my emotions. And I realized that I was smoking a little weed before bed to kind of help me sleep, and I was working real hard, and my body was sore, and so it was nice to, like, use that, like, smoke some, take a shower, go to bed. And I realized that if I just smoked a teeny little bit, like just a little off the top, just a little torch, then I could journal, you know, like soften my emotions. And now I'm just in that state all the time, doesn't matter. But it softened me up a little bit where I could actually like let some of my feelings out. And I was able to do some really good soul searching for a couple months. I have like a bunch of journal entries of like this really good like soul searching stuff. You were hunting amethyst crystals. Sounds cool. But then, in that same, on the flip side of that, like marijuana use at that time, I would also use it to suppress my emotions, or like too much of it. So it's a real delicate balance. Just gotta be careful. Anything in excess is no bueno. You know? You're taking the week off work to hunt amethyst crystals? Oh, you're going for the Kingston Range. That's where you get amethyst crystals? Really? I don't listen to Spangle, but that sounds great. I don't know what Spangle is, but I'm into it. What's a Spangle? Dude, you're hunting amethyst crystals. Where are your friends? Hey, why were you anxious for work? Whoever was anxious for work. Why were you anxious? Why would you be anxious? Really? I'd love to go rock hunting. That sounds cool. You know what's neat about crystals and stuff? I mean, I make fun of them all the time, but I love them. I I just make fun of them because all the spiritual people. It's a spongle. It's like a type of crystal, you know? Come on, Zach. Chill out. You gotta listen to it instead of sniff it. Ooh. Look at the little heart thing. Ooh, finger hearts. Dueling finger hearts. Ofa Valley? All these crystal hunters in here? Who else is a little rock hound? All the spiritual girls love those crystals, right? They love them. And I always find that the spiritual people that like rely on the crystals, you know, psychedelic electronic music, ooh, I like that. Ooh, a cap, thank you. I always find that the people that are so dependent on the crystal to like change their life, I'm gonna look up a spongle for real. The ones that rely on it, they're like, this is the thing that's going to change me. If I just sniff this crystal enough, if I get enough of these crystals in my ass, like, I'm going to arrive, you know? It's like, they're always the ones that are the most emotionally dysregulated, you know? Just well outside of human school, you know? But here's the beauty of crystals. You ready? Same as this plant, same as these flowers. When you become, same as this little crystal on my wrist, look at that little bitch. See, there's one right there. That's how much I love them. See? When you become so present with life that you can appreciate the beauty in that just for the sake of appreciating the beauty in it, because you just have slowed it down, gotten yourself out of all the bullshit. Yeah, crystal powers lie in the attention of people give them. Exactly. Then you can feel the magic of it. Then you can see the magic of it. Then you're just like, oh, look at this beautiful thing. Crystals carry an inherent energy structure to them. I mean, quartz radios are like the piezoelectric crystals and things like that. Like, this has crystals in it. You see this little guitar pickup right here? Well, it's not the pickup, that's the bridge. But underneath that is a little metal band filled with a bunch of piezoelectric crystals, right? Hooked up to some wires. Hooked up to this little preamp, right, which is technically running on a battery. This is active, not a passive. But before it hits the active stage of the electronics, this is how it works. You see this string wobbly dobbling? Wobble over dub-dubs? You see it wiggle? You see it, don't you? It's vibrating at a particular frequency, right? Back and forth. As it wiggles and it jiggles, which makes the piezoelectric crystal giggle, and it actually transmits the kinetic force of this guitar string, wiggling it, into a frequency, an electronic frequency, not just piezoelectricity. And then that little frequency hits this preamp, which then gets amplified, and it shoots it right out of the guitar butt. You see that little fart hole? That's some crystal powers right there. We wouldn't have pickups without crystals. Well, I mean, you can do it magnetically and you can do it with a microphone, but wobble love a dub dub, motherfuckers. Come chill, come to Encinitas. We'll just skate and watch some sunset. It'll be great. Fingers tremble. I feel as if I lose my train of thought when speaking. How do you think I could help mice? I feel as if I lose my train of thought when speaking. Well, what's going on with the train of thoughts? Yeah, come down, bring some crystals. I'll sniff them. Yeah, if anybody wants to meet up, like before sunset some night, as long as I don't have sessions right up to it, you can go for a little skate, sunset sesh. Oh, hey, times to get social anxiety. Not all the time, but settings. Sometimes happens and my fingers tremble. I feel as if I lose my train of thought when speaking. Oh, yeah, okay. That is probably in a social setting. You may be having a little bit of a trauma response. Find me a gift. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, if anybody wants to go skate, we should. I'm game. Like arrange a little like group skate. Be fun. Or just go hang out at sunset some night. That'd be cool. If you're ever in social anxiety things, that can very often be a trauma response because the way like trauma works, the way the triggers work, the way your autonomic nervous system works is whenever you get into the same context of something that was previously a traumatic situation, you can have a trauma response because something about the energy can trigger you. A smell, right? You smell something that smells like a person that did something horrible to you in your childhood or something like that. You see something, a color, something like that. Oh, isn't this, yes, let's talk about this robe. California Robe, the California Robe Company. I just found them today at the market. And they're literally designed for walking around town. They even have a tie down low so they don't blow open in the wind and show your balls if you just want to walk around naked in a robe. Which I think is fantastic. It's got pockets. It's really comfortable. It's like lightweight and short sleeve. So you can cruise around in the sunshine. Anyway, I'm really excited about it. You should go get some. California Robe Company. I'm going to get a coupon code because I love it so much, and I'm just going to wear it on lives, and then you can use the Daniel coupon code. So yeah, trauma responses and stuff like that, like social anxiety, anything can trigger it. And the way that trigger mechanism works is when neurons fire together, they wire together. So if you're in a very traumatic situation and you have some type of sense of smell, sight of something, a particular person in a shirt, maybe a person with a mustache, something like that, God forbid. Anything can trigger it, and your neurons work like a little social network in your body. So one sense can trigger all the other senses off, and it can then flood you with some adrenaline and cortisol, which is going to cause you to get a little tense and feeling that anxiety. And then, because that's your fight or flight response, I have to get out of this situation because your subconscious remembers the trauma. It's not in your active thought, but your subconscious remembers it. Ooh, you wear a kilt sometimes, Zach. Nice. Yeah, go to California Robe Company. And if you can say anything in the notes, tell them Daniel Tyack sent you. I just met the guy today, and it was the funniest interaction. I was walking through the little market thing. It was like a street fair. And I saw this booth with this majestic man wearing some sunglasses and a robe. And all he had were robes in his booth. And I looked at that man, and he looked at me. We made eye contact. I couldn't see his eyes, but I knew he was looking right in my soul. And I said, I need one of these. And he put his hand out to me, and he said, step into the Robeolution. And he ushered me into his booth. And he was like telling me all the features of it. I was already sold. I didn't need to know the features. Because look at it. I mean, look at it. You're sold already. Anyway, I bought one. And it's great, honestly. It's got just enough ties to keep it secured. You can walk around town with just a robe on. You don't even have to wear underwear. Some nice loafers, Do it for real. You got to get real about it. Anyway, that's kind of how trauma responses can work. Just as triggers all your little neurons up, A Robert on, Zach. Ooh, Zach's going to put a Robert on. Yeah, even Sam's features. Even if it didn't, I know, Zach. Calm yourself. Skating, I'm going to go skate with this robe on. I'll probably wear some tiny shorts underneath, but I'm definitely going to be cruising around town on a regular basis with just a robe and tiny shorts and some loafers. Because why not? I'm going to get them for the whole family. I'm going to get one for Sarah, for all the kids. We're just going to go have like a lazy Saturday morning stroll through Encinitas. Go to like a diner breakfast, just all wearing robes. It's going to be great. Can you imagine? It's like us 4 kids. Both Sarah's kids, both my kids were all in robes. Just cruising down the street lazily with some loafers and a coffee. No, they're not silky shorts. They're corduroy. Actually, there's another one for you guys, which you can use the coupon code Daniel Tyack at checkout. You can swipe out of this and it'll keep playing on your app. Go to hammyshorts.com. These shorts are the business. They are legit, like kind of high-waisted 70s cut. You'll buy me some silky shorts? Are we talking about like the Frogmen shorts? Like Navy shorts? I like my hammies because they're like vintage 70s cut, high-waisted, thick ass corduroy, and they are nice. They are the jam. Nice, like 4-inch inseam, perfect to show off way too much thigh. You gotta give the people what they want, you know? So I just rock those around town with a Hawaiian shirt, but now I can do it with a robe. There's this thing, there's Silky Shorts Illusion. You have some hammies, Zach? If you enter Daniel Tyack at checkout, that's my coupon code, and you will get a 10% discount when you buy some hammies. And ladies, they make some, well, actually they make some bell bottoms for men too, but they make some amazing bell bottoms for the ladies. And these cute little knit crop tops and stuff. And lady asses look amazing in hammies too. It doesn't even matter if you got a good, like Sarah style, like peachy ass, or you got the long ass. Like either one, doesn't matter which ass you got. They look amazing in hammies. Like they put magic inside of them to contour, to make everybody's ass look good. Like that is how good these shorts are. So that's just fashion tips with Daniel. Which we're also talking about spirituality and why it kind of sucks. Because spirituality could be kind of like hammies, right? It's like somebody finds the hammies and they're like, these are the only shorts you're allowed to wear. And it's like, for the love of God, like somebody doesn't want to wear some vintage 70s cut corduroys. Like, nobody, like, there's not a lot of people that want that. But then the people that really like it are like, you've got to do it this way, otherwise you're not cool. And it's like, somebody else is allowed to be cool the way they want to be cool. There's no rules. We're all just making it up based on our perspective, based on our ego, based on how we think it should be. So, you know. Oh, I got the whole robe-olution. Don't worry. I got you, brother. I got you. But I don't know about these silky shorts illusion. Silkies, huh? Yeah, Zach knows what's up with the hammies. They're wicked comfortable. They're so good. Like you put them on and you feel like you're free, you know? You feel like you're naked, but you're also clothed at the same time. I don't know if you've ever had an experience like that, but it's definitely worth it. I feel like every time I play guitar, I lose a lot of viewers and I don't get it. I'm like, am I that bad at guitar? I guess so. What's up, Dublin chat? I am Daniel. Hello. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the conversation, Dublin chat. I'm glad you're here. I don't want to actually stay up for like 3 hours tonight, guys, talking about stupid shit. But let's talk about spirituality. Oh, you're struggling? What are you struggling about? Corduroy makes a cool sound, except for these only have 4-inch inseam, so there's not a lot to work with, and it's really soft corduroy, so it doesn't really zippity do. It's just kind of just real gentle. I think the problem I have with spirituality is no matter what you come up with at the end of the day for spirituality to say this is the way it is, it's always an element of ego. It is always somebody's version. It's always something that somebody made up. I don't care what religion it is, somebody made it up at one time or another. Like there's a lot of Christians, like Catholic, Judeo-Christianity kind of stuff going on. That stuff didn't even exist till like 300 years after Christ's death. Like the whole modern version we have based on the Bible. I mean, there was Christians, but they were just followers of Christ. There were people that were vibing like the guru, you know, which is awesome. Massive. They're just right, dude. They're just right. Maybe they're 2-inch. They're pretty short. No, I think they're 4-inch. So you got a thing like Christianity, right, for some spirituality. And you got this guy, Jesus, who's like being a hippie and teaching people like you gotta, like, the kingdom is within stuff. And people start following him because he loves all of them to death, literally. And then the Romans end up executing him for witchcraft, which is the only, crucifixion was the only crime, or the only punishment for, crucifixion, the only crime punishable by crucifixion under Roman tableau was witchcraft, you know. It's a very serious event involving family and livelihood, and I've responded horrifically. Doesn't sound great, Dublin chat. What's going on? A lot of times when we respond to things horrifically, it's because of some trauma response, you know, or we just are scared. And we're all up in our high alpha. That didn't work. And when you're in high alpha, you're basically in an animal response. You don't have your logical centers. Your little left side of your brain goes offline in your processing centers. And you go very right brain dominant. And you're not thinking straight. You're just like an animal trying to get out. And so we do stupid shit if we don't stay mindful. I'm sorry to hear. Jokes. Oh, there is truth in all of it, yeah. The thing with spirituality, like, yeah, there's some truth in all of it. Like, somebody found some truth, but the second somebody says this is the way it is, and this is the only way it is, you limit all the rest of the truth. Because it's every which way. You got people that live in the jungle and on little islands still that have never had contact with the Western world. And they're living these like beautiful, peaceful existences in harmony with each other and with the land. And it's like, oh, it's a 4-inch joke. But then you got some, you know, somebody else in some spirituality that says like, oh, they have to do this to arrive. And here's the interesting thing about arrival in spirituality. You don't have any like realized beings. Like even Jesus didn't tell anybody to worship him. He's just like, the kingdom is within, bitches. The kingdom is here, you know? But everyone's like, oh, you got to do this and that, otherwise you don't go to heaven. And it's like, you never said anything about that. It's like, the kingdom is here. And that's still even within the Catholic, right? Like the Catholic Bible, which all the Bibles are based off of. And that's a manipulation to start out with. So it's like, you can't really take it word for word. But you don't see any other like realized beings, like people of like supreme love telling you have to do anything. They're just like, just be. But then you have all the spiritual people that are all emotionally dysregulated, trying to find some meaning why they feel the way they feel, running into spirituality and saying, oh, you gotta do it this way to be okay. And meanwhile, they're not okay. And it's like, why are we taking your advice? Doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Arrive, that means you aren't actually there. I don't know. I think you just choose to arrive. You gotta, at the end of the day, you're gonna have a point of like being like, oh, I've arrived. And it's just a matter of choice, because any feeling of arrival, any thought of arrival is a matter of ego. So if you don't have that mindset, you don't just learn how to be, to feel into all of it. All in your ego anyway, you know. Where can I learn the most authentic story about Jesus? Oh, I have no idea. The Catholic Church, the Church of Rome, like fucked everything up so hard. I mean, you got like Yogananda's version of it, but that's just his own like interpretation and like what he said he downloaded kind of thing, tapped in with Christ consciousness. But it's like, even that's just his ego. Found you at the end of our trip. Good. Yeah, do what Russell says. Just ask him. Just tap in. Go meditate real hard. Just remember, whatever you get out of that, you're still interpreting through your ego, your perspective. So don't make a fucking religion out of it. Just take the truth that you feel. As far as I'm concerned, Jesus is pretty rad. Not the, being kind is what feels right, yeah. You gotta be careful with that too, because your kindness might be different from someone else's. Planet trip to San Diego, yeah. Are you live recorded on TikTok? Yes. I do write a lot of songs like during my lives. I just sort of noodle around, and sometimes, man, some nights it's like real cool stuff come out. But they're just, you know, it's like anything else. Eventually it just disappears in time, so it's like, might as well just disappear now. Not get attached to it. Appreciate it in the moment, you know? Hey, thanks for the big love. This is like a C. Does love have to involve others? No. Starts with you first. What Idahomes 208 said. Later, Skater, love you. Oh, I'm going to learn a kickflip one of these days. I've never learned a kickflip, honestly. I'm going to do it, though. Oh, that's it. One of these days, guys, one of these days, I'm going to fix up, almost shut some up. I'm going to fix up my electric guitar rig. I'm going to play some electric guitar. I just haven't used it for a while. My trems on my electrics are all squeaky because I live by the beach, and they're all like, was that Dave Matthews Band? I don't know Dave Matthews Band stuff really much. That does sound like Dave Matthews, doesn't it? Is that a Dave Matthews riff? There's nothing new under the sun. Huh. It's Dave Matthews. Is it exactly like that? Maybe I have it stuck in my subconscious. I can't piece the song though. It sounds like it though. emo-y roots coming out. I really need to get the electric out, guys. Trippin' Billies. Really? It must be like in, you know how you get something like stuck in my subconscious? It really sounds like a Dave Matthews song. I just never really listened to Dave Matthews that much. Doing those when you're like bending out with one finger. That's a cool little riff. I should learn some Billy Joel. 7 chords and then it's all you. Are these Dave Matthews songs or should I learn 7 chords? Okay. I will sing you and play you one song because it's the only song I know other than one song I wrote which I can never remember all the words for. But it's the only song I ever cared to learn because I just, for whatever reason, love it a lot. Some of you may have heard it before because what would I say to my 20-year-old self? I would say, same thing I'd always say to my 20-year-old self. Only do things that serve you. Right? Sounds a little selfish, right? But if you're not doing things that bring you joy, you're going to be miserable. You're going to make everyone else around you miserable. But if you do things that bring you joy and serve yourself, it was the 7 strums of Dave Matthews Band. Gotcha. If you're not doing things that serve you, you're going to be miserable and you're going to make everybody else miserable. But if you do things that serve you, then you're going to be enjoying your life and being good to people and spreading all that around. Let's sing Transcontinental by David Bazan. think you know that song? God, I love you, dude. If anybody actually knows that song, other than Zach, you win. You win. Because, man, that song is so good. David Bazan, look him up. Pedro the Lion. Fucking incredible songwriter. I love him so much. I've loved him ever since I was, like, in high school. He was, like, early 2000s emo. Like, kind of minimalist. Just great stuff. Oh, so good. And that song is great because it means nothing. Thank you. Thank you. And it's the funniest thing to me because he wrote it's about, he had the line, engine severs lower legs. It's about a guy who got his legs cut off by a train and he doesn't have the will to live, and he remembers a story about a guy who got his legs trapped by a tree that fell, and then he chopped his own legs off to save his life. But this guy's like laying there lamenting the fact that he doesn't have the will to live, even though he remembered a story of a guy who had such a will to live that he chopped off his own legs. It's pretty dark. But it's just great because he made up a whole song around the line, engine severs lower legs. And then everyone's like, oh my God, what does it mean? And they have all this meaning. And in multiple interviews, he's like, it doesn't mean anything. I just wrote a stupid song. And everyone always tries to put a bunch of meaning to it. And isn't that just like life, you know? That was my jam. Dad and I would listen to that in the truck together. Oh, dude, yes. I've been to Hawaii, yeah. Dude, I love David Bazan stuff. Control. Oh, that album. Fewer Moving Parts. What are some other Pedro the Lion albums? Wolves at the Door was a really good David Bazan solo record. Yeah, we should take life less seriously. But if you do get your legs trapped by a fallen evergreen tree, definitely cut them off below the knee to save your life. I mean, it happened in that song, so it's got to be important. But yeah, it's like spirituality and White Sox. That's my tie-in, kids. That's my tie-in. Oh, Stoned Cat Boy. You shared the live video. I'm trying to adjust my legs without having an inappropriate ball slip on TikTok. I'm gonna go to bed though. I want to go to bed before 10 o'clock because I've been staying up way too late, guys. How many of you have been here for the whole thing since I was eating berries and cream? There's only 18 of you here. This must have sucked. I had like 100 and something earlier. Oh, yeah. Yo, motivation for improvement. Oh, Kevin, who was up in this bitch? That's what I like to see. You're getting friended. Bam. Friends now. Does anybody want me to talk about anything tomorrow? Great company. Thank you. I'm doing really good. Motivation for improvement. I'm doing excellent. Just got in. Where are you going? When are you going live this week? I'm gonna go live. Thanks, Eddie. I'm gonna go live. You missed the berries and cream, dude. I was all lounged out, Zach. Like I had the flowers down and my elbow and some tea, and I was eating strawberries with cream. You missed it, dude. It was great. It's my favorite part of the live, mostly because it was delicious. It was really good. Like it was some good berries and cream. What day is it? Is it Sunday? I think it's Sunday. It's Sunday, right? Somebody confirm that it's Sunday. All I see is 9:24. It's Sunday. It's got to be Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday. Yes? Okay. That means I'll probably go... Kevin? Don't fuck with me, Kevin. We just became friends on TikTok, okay? It's not cool. Just be cool, please, for the love. Drink your water, guys. Self-care is important. I'll probably go live tomorrow night. Oh, shitballs. You know what? I don't have my kids until... I'm probably going to go live a lot because my kids are on a little trip with their mom to Utah with the family. So I actually don't get them this weekend, which I'm really bummed about. But I get to hang out with Sarah and her kids. That's good. But we did just have a really nice time in Julian. We went up to this little Airbnb for the last couple of days, which I would blame that on the reason why I didn't quite get a grip on if today was Sunday or not until you guys said it was Sunday. But honestly, I really never know what day it is, so I have to look at my phone pretty often. Draws me seen with berries and cream. Draw me seen with berries and cream. Basically, that was what I was doing. I was all lounged out, dude, on my elbow. I was like, draw me like your French girls. But I was eating berries and cream. Had it on my nipples and everything. Tyack, you missed it. Okay. This is going downhill fast. Straight down. Like the Titanic. I hope that wasn't too soon. Anyway, everybody, let's remember to take a deep breath. Ready? And also let it out. Let's do a few of those real quick. Are you doing it? Motherfuckers, just do it. Ready? Like a long one, all the way in your belly. All the way down your butthole. All the way up. And then breathe out. Do it like really long. Longest breath you could take, possibly. And then create a little love space in your heart. Just think of like your grandma or something that you love. Your dog. Zach. Think of Zach. Just create a good little feeling there while you're being mindful of your moment. No Zach, no meditation. This is your meditation. Don't get greedy. I'm sleepy. Look at that. You stop to breathe for a couple seconds, and you feel better already. See? It doesn't really have anything to do all that much with breathing. Though that's a good practice to keep breathing. Keeps your blood oxygenated. Normally you don't have to think about it. But when you think about it, it takes your brain out of all of the other things in life. All the anxiety and stuff, and you're just thinking about breathing, and you're like right in your little moment for a second. And then all of a sudden, you're not all worked up about this shit. And you're just like, oh, that feels better. And then all that shit you're all worked up about, it's like, it's not so important, and you can just be at peace. You can arrive. We just did some spirituality, by the way, though it sucks. Did you hear the spirituality? Hear it one more time. That's literally spirit that you're hearing. Now it's sound spirits. One more. You hear the sound spirits oscillating all weird? It's called a bowl. It's called a dinger. This is the ringer. You ding the dinger with the ringer. It's a sound bowl. This one's at about 433 hertz frequency, which means the edge oscillates at about 433 times per second. It's the bowl of peace. Tibetan bowl, yeah. But what happens is it releases the sound spirits, right? They come vibrating out of the edge, and the sound's all oscillating, like you hear that change. Because they're not exactly oscillating. This one's oscillating this way, and then by the time that vibration goes around this way, this one's oscillating, and then those things are out of phase, and they whack into each other, all the air molecules. And then they whack the air molecules over here, and then they hit the little transducer deal, and it goes into a digital analog conversion process. Goes through the 5G, which is 5 gigahertz. It's like 5 million times a second. Real fast, little fuckers. It goes up into space, into a satellite, using other radio bands. All spirit, it's all energy, it's all just sound spirits and digital spirits and Steve Jobs spirits. And then once it gets to space, in the satellite, Steve Jobs' ghost wrestles Elon Musk with an alien, all buttered up in a tub, just all greasy, real greasy. Some Jello and stuff. They all wrestle. It doesn't have anything to do with the frequencies. They're just doing it for fun. But that's what's happening up there. And then it comes back to your phone right from space. Fast as fuck, too. And then it goes through another network. Gets blasted to you. It goes all through your body. Everywhere. All these frequencies everywhere. All these sound spirits. And then your phone grabs it. And then there's a little microphone or a little speaker in your phone which goes wubba-lubba-dub-dub. And it shakes the air molecules over where you are. And then all the sound spirits come out. That's another digital or an analog to digital to analog conversion process. And then it shakes the speaker thing. And then the air molecules bang into each other. And they bang into your eardrum 433 times a second. Unless I'm like oscillating a little bit, then it's relative. It's changing a little bit. And then it pokes your ear bone right into the brain, right in the brain spot. It goes 433 times a second. And your brain translates that as a sound. And that's spirituality, in case you were wondering. God, I should get a gong. I should get a big gong. Just a big ass gong. Over my shoulder. Wearing this robe. I need a golden robe. It's black piping. I did ask the man, I don't know his name, the man from this company, the California Robe Company, which I highly recommend getting one of these. Look up the California Robe Company. Tell him Daniel Tyack sent you. I don't really know him, I just met him today. But I was like, listen, dude, I was like, I need one of these in pink with dark pink flamingos on it. And he's like, I'm doing one in pink next with teal palm trees. And I was like, I'm sold. It's good enough. So soon, my intention is, let's all just put this out in the field with spirituality. That he gets those done motherfucking soon, and they have sizes that'll fit my children and Sarah's children. And then the whole gang of us can just go, oh, golden silk robe with a giant gong. Can you imagine an actual silk robe? What should I get embroidered on it? Just like a dick? Maybe a flamingo with a dick. That would be phenomenal. Everybody would love it. There's literally not a person watching this live that wouldn't love it. See? Anyway, the goal is to get all pink ones of these with pink palm trees on them and be just cruising around town with them, just these on, you know, going to like a diner, wandering town with the whole fam. Wouldn't that be phenomenal? I know you guys are thinking about it. And now it's time to end this live and go to bed. So I want you all, as you're drifting off to sleep, to just put that image in your head, you know? Put it right in there. Wooden flip-flops. No, I'm thinking loafers. Like just nice loafers. Hey, Ricky, what's up? And so just, I want you to hold that image in your mind hole when you're going to sleep tonight, you know? And then tomorrow, what's up, inward healing therapist? Hi. Tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, when I get on live, you're welcome for the company. I'm not drifting off to sleep. Trauma is too much. Dublin chat? I'm sorry. I'm gonna send you some good vibes. Everybody send Dublin chat some good vibes. Just, you're okay. There's some. You felt a little better. Not a lot. But you're going to get there. Believe you. Believe in you. So as you drift off or don't drift off, just think of that, you know? You know, when the trauma hits, just think of that image. Hold that imagery in your heart and your mind. And then I want you to tell me what kind of dreams you guys have, all right? I think that's important. Because who knows? Might be awesome. Might really suck. So I'm sorry if it sucks. But it's on you, boo. I'm just here to give. You guys do with it whatever you want, okay? You are not alone, Dublin chat. Look at the inward healing therapist being all nice. Who is this person? You're my friend now. Bam. Licensed therapist, a business owner, childhood trauma survivor, TikTok therapy. Friends now. I'm glad you're my friend. Anyway, I love you all, and I hope you have a really nice night for the rest of your night. And I'll come on live some more this week, and we'll hang out. And if anybody needs help working through their trauma and things like that, we have inward healing therapist here. I also do emotional alchemy work, which is a process of feeling down deeply into your feelings and unearthing your traumas and things like that, bringing them up to your alpha brainwaves of consciousness so you can then process them in a safe environment with myself or the lovely Sarah. We do calls every day and help people through their shit and help people come to grips with their stuff. And if you need help or just a coaching call because you're like trying to figure out life and what spirituality is and why spirituality kind of sucks and stuff, we'll walk you right through it. And usually I'm not wearing the robe, but if you do a special request, I will wear the robe for one of the video calls. And I think it'll make it better because though trauma is very hard to deal with, and though all of our wounds are really tough to like get through, because you really got to go through that hard stuff to heal it. You got to really feel it, and it sucks because I feel it on you when I'm doing the sessions, and it sucks for me, so I know it sucks for you. But it's okay. So we just take it real light, take it easy. Don't make it all a big old thing. We get past through it. Oh yeah. Only if it's got a ball. No, there's been no ball slips tonight that I know of. I kept my robe intact. But yeah, once you pass through that shit, it opens. You like come to a space of like, oh, like the dude today, he was like, man, he's like, I feel lighter. He's like, what? Open up this old story from when he was a kid, did some reprogramming back into the moment, because all of the old traumas and things hold in your body like a memory, like this ghosty memory, and that's what we react to. The neuron bonding and everything that happens. Some of our senses pick up something that reminds us of a previous trauma, and then all of a sudden it sets off our amygdala, and we get flooded with adrenaline and cortisol, and anxiety hits, and it just sucks. But if you work it out, bring it up to consciousness, get in that pain, then when you're in the pain, that's actually cortisol. It's an injection of hormones in your body, which opens up, floods your whole body all at once, opens up neuroplasticity, which allows you to come up with new concepts. It debonds the neurons in the pain portal. And so now you can associate an event with not pain. You can put some other feeling in there and create a new feeling set. So you are no longer triggered by the old things. You got to practice it. You have to practice a new feeling set. But once you can bring it into awareness, then you're good. And for an example of bringing something into awareness by putting your awareness on it or bringing it up into your upper consciousness where you're processing everything. I very often talk with my hands, and this whole time in this last minute or two, I've been talking with my hands and moving them around. Now you're looking at them. See? Hands. Before, you were unaware, unless you're like, this guy's doing neurolinguistic programming, talking with his hands. Probably weren't. Now you're aware of it. We put awareness on it, and it came up into your consciousness, when before it was subliminal communication that you were picking up and receiving. So once you get in there on these old stories, all these old feelings, all the feelings are old stories that we hold on to. It is your subconscious. All of those anxiety feelings, cramp in the gut, stuff like that. Once you bring them into your awareness, you're able to reprogram those into a new way of being. And it can be a little bit, get trained in somatic experiencing. This is very similar. Emotional alchemy is very similar to somatic experiencing. I kind of like my integration methods better. I totally came up with this method before I read about somatic experiencing. And then I read about somatic experiencing, and I was like, that's like what I'm doing. And then I'm like, there's nothing new under the sun, bitches. It's like the same kind of shit, just different labels. So there's a lot of ways to heal from trauma. And there's a lot of ways to get it out of your system and reprogram your nervous system to feel a different way. It's to create a new feeling set, not a mindset. Because your feelings are like 90% of your experience. And your mind is nothing more than your ego, your thoughts of the way it should be. Ding, 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 ding. That's your lesson for the day. And integration is so important. That is the key. So when you open up trauma, like if you can do EMDR, somatic experiencing, or emotional alchemy, stuff like that, make sure that you're doing it with someone you can trust and you feel safe with, and that is not going to judge you and put you back into some more trauma. So feel free to give me a little jingle by typing in your stuff on the email form on my website, or find a good trauma-informed therapist, somatic experiencing therapist, or EMDR therapist that you can trust. And those are methods to bring these negative feelings that are memories into your consciousness so you can reprogram them and live your life wild and free. Sound good? All right, I love you all. I'm going to go to bed. Yeah, I'm going to jingle your jangle, Zach. I'll be back. Oh, gosh. I got to go to this screen to get out of here. All right, everybody. Sleep well, unless, of course, it's the morning. Then enjoy your morning.